a teenager has unknowingly filmed his mate's last known moment alive. The chilling footage shows 19-year-old Raymond Cabelfin Jr. was whisked away by a powerful current after jumping into the American River near Auburn, California. Raymond Cabelfin Jr. was hiking with 3 other friends on the Lake Clementine Trail before he and a young woman decided to test the rushing waters of the 120-mile-long river for a dip. In the video, shot by friends on May 11th, the young woman hops into the water and makes it out quickly. But Cabelfin, who jumped even further into the river, is seen struggling against the current while trying to stay above water. At first, his friends seemed to think the 19-year-old had things under control, and they almost instantly realized he did not. Cabelfin calling for help while being taken downstream is the last known time he's been seen. According to a post shared by the family on Facebook, his friends dialed 911 quickly after realizing the teen was unable to reach shore. On May 29th, 18 days after he was filmed being swept away, police recovered a body 3 miles downstream from where Cabelfin was last seen. "16-year-old beauty queen from Ukraine live-streamed her own death on Instagram when she filmed herself and a friend drinking and driving in the early morning June 29th. Sofia Magurko, who won a local beauty contest in Izium, was killed when the BMW her 24-year-old friend Dasha Medvedeva was driving rocketed into a lamppost at a high rate of speed in the Kharkiv region. After hitting the post, the vehicle then flew into the tree. Magurko died immediately from the force of the crash, while Medvedeva died on her way to the hospital from severe injuries. In the video, Magurko and Medvedeva are seen laughing, screaming, and singing to music inside the car while drinking out of a bottle of an unknown liquid while the car is stopped. One of them says, "Hi boys," to the stream's audience as the pair continue to joke and laugh while listening to the music. Suddenly, Medvedeva pulls away in the BMW with the light inside the car still on. Only a few seconds after pulling away from the stop, the loud sound of the car crashing into the post can be heard, and the voices turn silent before the video goes black. Horrific footage of a mentally ill mother of 2 at a hospital in New South Wales, Australia, has emerged online. The sedated woman, 46-year-old Miriam Merton, stumbled around the facility covered in feces and falling at least 25 times before she died. Merton was admitted to the Lismore Adult Mental Health Inpatient Unit on May 26, 2014, and was locked in a seclusion room for over 5 hours at the facility on June 1, 2014. Merton was left in seclusion, naked, sedated, with only a mattress on the floor, without any food or water, and covered in her own feces, with her vital signs not checked. The 2 nurses on duty knew that Merton had been administered psychotropic drugs and fallen at least once, but the medical staff didn't act. The next morning, a nurse unlocked the ward, and the woman stumbled around the hospital before collapsing in the corridor right next to the nurses, who are seen to be paying no attention. Merton died 2 days later on June 3, 2014, due to a traumatic and hypoxic brain injury caused by numerous falls and the self-beating of her head on various surfaces, the latter not done with the intention of taking her own life. Merton's 20-year-old daughter, Karina, said she only discovered the stomach-churning details of her mother's death after a journalist got in touch with her. Initially, the young woman was told that her mother had slipped in the shower. So far, the 2 nurses have been fired, and it remains unclear what other repercussions the hospital would face. On Christmas night 2011, Ben Breedlove, a bright and engaging 18-year-old, died from complications of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, an abnormal thickening of the heart's walls. And while his story is heartbreaking, Breedlove has already left a legacy of warmth and hope that outshines the tragedy of his death. For more than a year, Breedlove had developed a devoted following on YouTube. But the video he made on December 18th was of a much more personal and intimate nature. He shared the details of living and often struggling with a disease that was supposed to have taken his life years earlier. He does so wordlessly, his message written on a series of index cards as an instrumental version of Gary Jules's Mad World played in the background. The video, filmed in 2 parts, was the last video of him alive. In his final video, Breedlove describes the 3 times in his life he cheated death, surviving seizures that could have taken his life. The most recent seizure, Breedlove wrote, had only happened a few weeks earlier, after he passed out at school in early December. While paramedics worked to revive him, Breedlove said he had a vision that Kid Cudi appeared with him in a white room, while his favorite song, Mr. Rager, played in the background. When he came to, he wrote, "I then looked at myself in the mirror. I was proud of myself, of my entire life, everything I have done." He also added he wished he had never woken up, and that he never wanted to leave that peaceful place. Kid Cudi saw the video and was moved to write to Breedlove from his Tumblr account. Heartbreaking footage has emerged of the moment a bride was killed minutes before her wedding, when the helicopter taking her to the altar as a surprise for her husband-to-be crashed just a few miles from the ceremony. Rosamir do Nascimento Silva from São Paulo, Brazil, was killed in December last year along with 3 others, the pilot, her brother, and a photographer who was 6 months pregnant. The 32-year-old's fiancé, Uderli Damasceno, was left waiting at the wedding venue unaware of what she was planning to do or of the fatal air crash. Police in São Paulo have been looking into reasons for the crash, and the almost 9-minute video may reveal mistakes made by pilot Peterson Pinheiro moments before the crash. In the clip, filmed by the photographer, the bride smiles as she stares out the window and links arms with her brother. After an initial bout of turbulence, her brother exclaims in distress. As the turbulence seems to worsen, the bride and her brother close their eyes tightly and clench their jaws. The camera turns to the pilot's hand as he seems to try and steady the helicopter before an alarm goes off and the picture shakes uncontrollably. There's a glimpse of the bride's dress, the inside of the helicopter, and the foggy sky outside as the passengers scream. The camera continues to record after the impact, and the last image is of the ground after the crash. birds can be heard chirping in the distance. The helicopter was found a mile from the wedding venue in a forest.